Township of Colham, regular monthly meeting, June 21st, 2016.
I'm always good.
Yes.
I'm here. You need executive or not?
Okay, Mayor.
We gotta sign this.
I'll call this meeting to order at 7:03 PM. Adequate notice of this meeting has been given to the Express Times and Star Gazette, satisfying the requirements of the Open Public Meeting Act. If we could please stand for a silent prayer and flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, before we begin with the meeting, we have to swear in our newest police officer at the Township Police Department, so that's Sierra DeMayo. We'll do that right down here, so if the family wants to come down, we'll administer the oath. Chief, if you want to. All right, ready? We'll go slow, because like I said, I have no slow. All right. I, Sierra DeMayo, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the state of New Jersey, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, to the government established in the United States and in this state, under the authority of the people, and that I will faithfully, impartially, and justly perform all the duties of an officer of the Cohasset Township Police Department, according to the best of my ability, that I'll do that. Congratulations. I just want to say a couple words about our newest officer. We're very lucky. This is the first female police officer we've got in Blackhawk Township history, and I believe she's now the lone female officer in the county. But I think what's important is that she became so highly recommended by our judge and interviewing with our chief, and I think as a candidate, that's what puts you so high. We're very glad and honored that you chose Blackhawk Township. So we look forward to a stellar career here with us, and I know our residents are supportive of someone that, like you said, you want to be involved in the community and get to know everyone. That's what this town is all about. So congratulations again. We look forward to working with you. Thank you.
Not after what, That's not what I heard.
All right, moving forward with the meeting, do we have to take these minutes separately?
Yes, we do, Mayor. Everyone can vote on the April 19th, but then Councilman Rubinski and Vangelli would abstain from May 17th. Councilwoman Van Loo and Councilman Vangelli would have to abstain from June 14th.
Okay, I'll make a motion.
To do what?
To do the ones that I can do.
Okay, so
I'll second that. I'll do the ones that I can.
we're doing them separate. Okay,
All right.
the mayor and Steve on the first one.
Okay.
Okay, so I say Babinski.
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
Vandaloo,
That one I can vote on?
yes,
Yes.
and Kern.
Yes.
Okay, approval of May 17th.
I wasn't here.
Councilman Babinski, you abstained,
I'll
so
move it.
is there a second?
Second it.
Okay, Slack,
Yes.
Vandaloo,
That one I'm here for, okay, yes.
and Kern.
Yes.
And June 14th,
I'll move that one.
Second.
okay. Slack,
Yes.
I'm sorry, Babinski.
Yes.
Slack,
Yes.
and Mayor Kern.
Yes. Okay, motion to pay the bills presented in proper form signed by the director of each department and approved by the members listed on the bill list.
All right, who will be signing sales?
I think I am. Right?
Okay, Great.
Yeah, okay.
All right, then I will second that as far as that all bills will be proper.
Okay, Babinski, Slack,
Yes.
Vandaloo,
Yes.
Kern.
Yes. Okay, public comment pertaining to agenda items. Any public comment on any agenda items?
Enrique Hernandez, 301 River Road. I had a question about the sewer meter that needs to be replaced. And I don't know that much about sewer meters, but $13,000 seems like a lot.
I was going to speak to that motion when it comes up,
Okay, so I should wait for then.
maybe.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, any other public comment on agenda items? Seeing none, attorney's report.
I really don't have anything supplemental to our special meeting on the affordable housing litigation. We do not have the decision from the appellate division. And again, for the benefit of the public, we, as part of the joint meeting, we just gave an overview to the land use board and the council who were present with respect to the possible options with respect to our affordable housing compliance, what the possible numbers could look like. But there's a lot of ambiguity at this point about what the number really will look like because the case is now back in the appellate division over what they call a gap issue, and basically fighting over whether there's a 10-year period of time that needs a separate number or does not need a separate number. And of course, if there's an extra 10-year period that needs a separate number, it's going to make every municipality's number go that much higher. So that's in the appellate division. They're expecting a decision in July, as I mentioned to the council. And until we really get that nailed down and see where our possible exposure may be going, there's not a whole heck of a lot done in that regard there. Beyond that, it's really only been a week, so there's not really much more I can add at this point in time. I will say, by the way, on the COA issue, I just saw yet another email. They're looking for another $2,000 for the joint group. So we don't have to address that tonight, but I'll elaborate on that. I'll send you that, and then I'll see what you want to do at the next meeting for August or whatever. By the time you guys next meeting, assuming we don't have a July meeting, we should have a little more direction. I think that's about it.
Okay, thank you. Anyone have any questions for Kevin? Okay, we'll go to council reports. Steve?
Yeah, the road department, I don't have too much. They've been very, very busy. They're paving roads, doing big road sections of big roads. Some sections that were washed out, I guess, on Winters Road and Cemetery Road and roadside mowing and et cetera, all those some stuff. That's all.
Dave?
I can read the police report here, Jim, first. The department responded to 727 calls for service. That's up from the chief.
That's high, yes.
That's in the summertime, or?
We average probably around 500. People are fighting quite a bit. Now that the weather is nice, yeah.
The department issued 326 traffic summonses and generated 39 criminal charges. The
Criminal Investigation Unit opened 20 new cases. The department investigated 28 motor vehicle accidents. On the 24th of May, the department participated in a volleyball tournament at Cohasset School. Each team was made up of 5 Cohasset School students and 1 officer. Teams played a round-robin style tournament until the champion was crowned. The event benefited the 8th grade class. The department was already requested to play in the tournament next year. Of course, we accepted. On the 26th of this year, in May, the Department of Corrections inspected the department's prisoner holding cells and policies. The DOC recommended a few additions to our policy, which were recently mandated by the state. Although most of the new additions pertain to the correctional facilities, such as prisoner visits and canine sniff of visitors, the additional information will be added. The updated policy will be forwarded to DOC within 90 days. I met with the prosecutor, Burke, and FAP First Assistant Prosecutor Michael McDonald at our police headquarters. This is an annual meeting to keep open communications between the Cohasset Police and the Warren County Prosecutor's Office. The department participated in this year's Click It or Ticket campaign. The campaign lasted for 2 weeks from May 23rd to June 5th. The department also participated in the border-to-border kickoff press conference at the Route 78 Visitor Center, along with the New Jersey State Police and the Pennsylvania State Police, and Phillipsburg Police, Eastern Police, and Wilson Police. And finally, throughout the summer, Cohasset officers will be issuing school-age children tickets. The tickets will indicate that the child did something positive, such as listening to mom or dad, holding the door open for someone, or just having a smile on their face. The officers will praise the child and issue the ticket. The ticket will entitle the child to 1 free child's meal at Chick-fil-A in Cohasset. This is a collaborative effort between the police and Chick-fil-A. More details will be posted on the Facebook page. How did the meeting go with the prosecutor? There was some things that needed to be addressed.
There wasn't anything that'd be addressed. It's just that we meet once a year, and we just, if they have any grievances with us, they let us know. If we have any with them, we let them know. But no, we have a good relationship with them. There was no problems. It's just every year we meet.
That's all I have on the police department. Mayor, our environmental commission did meet. I was unable to stay. I would ask maybe Dr. Hernandez just give us a brief overview of what transpired that night, if anything. She was correct. Thank you, Doctor. We will not have a meeting in July or August. We will meet again in September.
Dave, if I could just introduce, just on the environmental commission, by the way, I think Wanda and I don't remember why, but we both happened to notice in our recodified code book, there's a couple of vague references in a couple of spots to the environmental commission, but we actually have no ordinance.
Creating one, so maybe.
So I have one in draft for you guys. I just need to double check to see how you have it currently constituted, because there's a couple different statutory formulas on it. We'll clean that up in August or September. I think what happened when we codified, the old one went out with the bathwater.
Are you required by law to have one?
You
I thought
should
you
have,
were.
well, you should have an implementing ordinance because there's various alternatives in terms of alternates and things. And it also can be 7 or 9, so I think you guys are set.
The
Yeah.
thing is, there are things that go through land
Yeah.
use that should go through
Yeah.
the
So
environmental commission also,
we'll get that put back.
Oh, no, I know. I think
from their perspective.
Blairstown, I don't think has one.
That's
So
funny. I mean,
you're legally,
ever.
you're de facto organization at this point. We'll take care of that.
When
An
did-
advisory committee anyway, but.
When did we disband them?
And back when there was a codification, maybe when you went from the old form of government to it goes
Back
back
in
a
the early
ways.
90s.
Yeah.
Decades.
I think it's just one of those ordinances that kind of just fell out accidentally.
Hmm.
So We'll put it back in for you, we'll stick it.
Okay, then get into a meeting in September then. Question for the chief.
Are these kids gonna be scared when you give them these tickets? Are they gonna know what they're?
Well, they're gonna know. We
Yeah,
did
where
it,
do you find smiling kids?
well, that's what we're looking for. You know, we want to do it because we want the kids to get to know us. We're in the schools quite a bit. We know most of the kids. But a couple of years ago, well, actually, probably longer than a couple, we did the baseball cards, and that went over very, very well.
Yeah.
And I had met with Josh Bales from Chick-fil-A. They're very community-oriented also. We just thought it was a great idea to, get to meet the kids and say, listen, you're doing a great job, and then give them, quote, their ticket, and then they can take the ticket and go get a free kids meal. So we just think it's a good idea.
Cool.
Yeah.
Nice. Anything else, Dave?
That's it.
Mary?
Okay, now let's see if I can get myself organized here. All right, on Thursday, the mayor and I will be going to, where are we going for this? I don't know, hold on, look at that. Oh, it's in Monmouth County. Anyway, it's called Building a Better New Jersey, and the lieutenant governor is chairing it. So the idea is to get more development of businesses and so forth in New Jersey. So I'm going to be going, our Economic Development Advisory Commission didn't meet this month. I imagine they'll meet in July. So I sit on that commission for council. And like I said, the mayor will be going also. So we will hopefully come back with some really good stuff. Let's see, I think that I will need an executive session.
Yep.
And I have questions about some of the motions that are on here. If I can get things clarified, it will speed things up. For example, the motion for the advertising for the summer help for the DPW. Okay, I know how much we had budgeted for it, but how long are we going to employ this person or this summer help, and at what dollar cost?
We used to set an amount for the summer, and when the money ran out, that was when the job,
Okay, because I thought at one time we did it by months too, that they would work this month to such a month.
This year's gonna be short because they won't even be able to be hired until July. So it's even gonna be less time than usual.
Okay,
So
all right, well, we have $5,000.
I don't think that'll work.
Yeah, I don't
Okay,
think it.
all
Do
right.
you want to decide what the hourly rate was?
What we do for an hourly rate last year for summer help, remember?
I think it was 12.50 an hour.
40-hour week?
Yeah.
Same guy interested? Or do we not know?
No.
No.
Good.
Okay.
Well, that's only $500 a
Well,
week.
then we have to
Yeah.
advertise
so
for it,
that's-
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so then I guess we would have to, oh, it says that here.
There you
We're
go.
going to be authorized to advertise. All right, another question I have is the proposal from Natural Systems Utilities for a dollar amount that's listed. They only had one bid, and that's a lot of money, which we really don't have. So my question is, unless there's a real emergency here, can we postpone this and get additional bids on it? Because Phillipsburg, who has nothing to lose by this, only gave us the one bid. But
We actually had more than that, Mary. They said they solicited quotes from 4 different people. Some didn't bid, some didn't want to offer, some would do the meter, not the electrical panel. And if I understand correctly, I think it is rather urgent because that may be the reason why our sewer bill was so...
Well, I asked if that was the reason why, and it was like, they're not clear on that.
Yeah.
So my other question is, if one would only do one part and then you had to get somebody to do the other part, why not do it as a two-parter and possibly get the cost down?
I think, frankly, I'd like to double check, to be honest with you,
Because this is a large chunk of money which we don't have.
There may be, in our latest store agreement with T-Bird, I just would like to double check too, because I'm not sure that they're not responsible for the cost of the meters. I know they're responsible for maintenance.
It's the control panel, I guess. Donnie, didn't you say, they said it was all...
It says Wi-Fi and
The
electrical.
whole thing is rotted. I don't know.
The whole panel itself has to be replaced. The box
I don't care if you have to make,
is, everything has to be
confirming the contractual obligation.
Well, I
because there is
just-
something supposed about sewers.
Right,
The
and
meters on the-
again, we don't have the money for it. That's my point. And
Well, I
that's
think to
why I
wait
would
till
like to
after
postpone this.
executive session.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, I would want to postpone that.
So we're going to table that one. We'll make a motion to table that one when we get there, okay?
And, let's see. Oh, and I have a question about the $29,000 for guide rails. I know tomorrow night, and I got an email from, Jason Sarnowski, the Freeholder Director, and he was talking about what was on the agenda for tomorrow night. And I thought I saw that dollar amount, but now I'm thinking maybe that
It
was...
was 526,000 for the bridge.
That's, oh, the bridge at
Yeah.
Hacon. That's what it is.
That's the one by the gristmill,
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's on their agenda to award.
$500,000.
Yeah.
Mhm. That little bridge.
But it's theirs, so they better fix it.
Okay, so, then my point is, and where's that money coming from?
That's us.
This isn't capital. This was discussed during, yeah,
It was discussed when,
I think early on in the year, we talked about
I
this.
don't ever remember this discussion, as far as that dollar amount.
Well, not the dollar amount, but that we knew that there'd be a payout of the amount for doing this. The banks have, I think we've had several conversations about this.
Okay, and it's the Still Valley Road after you go through the tunnel.
Yeah.
And you go into
Up
Greenwich.
to,
And there is such a dire need for it.
well, I mean, you're one car away from a massive liability. If someone
One
driving.
person did end up
Same,
dying.
same as Creek,
Yeah.
or rather River Road, those kids going off of the river, same thing could happen.
Well,
They won't drown, but they could roll over.
And this one has gotten significantly worse. I mean, the river is a river. This is,
I drive that road all the time.
Well,
because
it's the
from
people who
our part
don't
of the
drive it.
township, It's
It's-
a shortcut.
but Mary, it's the people who.
Mary, do you drive it drunk in the middle of the night?
Well, we'll see. Depends on who you- But anyway, it's a lot of money to put out that we really don't have. And I know in terms of roads, all our road money is all spent and or dedicated to what it's going to cover. And, I don't want to see money just keep going out and going out and going out. And I know you were thinking of it as a save ourselves from a lawsuit, but I'm tired of coddling and babysitting people, adults. And if you're old enough to have a driver's license, you have to be a young adult. That they don't know how to live unless you take care of them. And I really don't like that.
Unfortunately, the world's not like that.
Well, that's because nobody says anything against it or tries to fight it. They just say, okay, and roll over, which we're doing.
Duly noted. Anything else?
I think that's it.
One thing on the agenda that we're going to, is it on the agenda? We're going to, Kevin, I think we're going to change the language on reappointment of the tax assessor.
Well,
We're gonna-
I know when you and I discussed briefly the agenda, your tax assessor, this reappointment would be his 10-year reappointment. So that, this is the significant one where, most councils usually want to review what's happened. We can certainly have had some issues. I'm not taking a position on it one way or the other. You guys can do what you want. But if you don't want to grant him tenure, then you want to table this reappointment at this
I
point.
have a question. I thought that when you gave them the second contract, 4-year contract, they had the option to apply to the state for tenure, but they don't have
Oh, it's an automatic 10-year, well, they automatically have 10-year with that second appointment. It's automatic.
That's what I was told.
I think that's CFOs, isn't it,
Only
Frank?
the finance officer has to apply.
Finance
Is
officer.
it all not
might-
to be denied?
Yeah.
For statutory, it's only the finance officer, and they have to send official notice to the clerk.
So I would.
we didn't talk about it as a council, so I don't think we should,
It's up to you guys.
I mean, unless everyone feels comfortable granting tenure, I think we should.
Well, I feel comfortable with it because it's under my department.
Okay. I would like to, before we grant someone a lifetime tenure, think about it. I don't know if anyone else on council agrees, but I just think it's a very strong,
Well, it's nice of you to bring it up the night of the appointment.
well, I think it was initially supposed to be July, right, Wanda? And then we can't.
Well, you don't have to not,
It couldn't be July because July 1st, I do believe, is the date.
Yeah.
That's when it would be effective in July.
Okay. July 1.
you can continue on an interim basis until, if you want, if you want to interview him or others, you're not.
So if we decide to table it, he would just be under.
Yeah, he continues as a de facto assessor until you have a
So
chance.
we're ready to do what we do.
Do we have to make a motion to notice him of that? Like, would he assume that his term is done?
Well, he'll know that there's an issue if he's asked to come in for an interview, because obviously at that point, he realizes it hasn't been accomplished, but, as I said, the tenure reappointment, that has to be done specifically. So, you can table it and make a motion to continue on an interim basis, pending interviews or whatever you want. If you want to do it that way, let him know that.
And are you gonna
Or
do
not.
interviews,
Or,
or
you know,
what about
give
the
it-
other ones that should come under me?
Which ones come under you? The court? That falls under Dave.
No, you told me that I should.
Jim, what do you want to do?
I want to table. I'm comfortable tabling. Dave, are you?
Make a motion then.
Fine by me.
All right.
Okay, but let's make.
Do it at the time.
We'll do it when we get to that
Yeah,
point.
And Kevin can,
Yeah.
for the, okay?
We have a resignation of Steve Czar from the Land Use Board, and we're going to appoint Lou Mitchley back to the board. He served on the board prior, so he'll be a welcomed asset back onto the board. And we thank Mr. Czar for his time on the board. I think, unfortunately, some of the rules and regulations that the state makes volunteers comply with now are making it hard for a lot of our folks to continue to stay involved. So it's unfortunate, but it is what it is. Trying to think if I had anything. I need a brief executive session for contractual, and also just so everyone knows, Phillipsburg had just approved the Ingersoll Rand track. I reached out to Lopat and Greenwich, and I think they all have the same concerns as us with the traffic that potentially could come up. Lopat had brought it up at their hearing, but since the part of 22 that's impacted, the state didn't listen to them. So I think we're going to work with Greenwich to send a letter to DOT asking to hear our concerns, because if anyone goes there in the morning, it's already a mess, and now if you're going to add all these trucks, this might be an opportunity to get some improvements done to the road. So it's something that we should keep an eye on, and I'll obviously keep everyone informed as that comes our way. I did also want to point out, unfortunately Sal's not here, but the governor, I guess, listened to Sal and did a press conference today on a fair school funding formula where every child in New Jersey would get the same dollar figure. So hopefully Sal got to see that, because he's been saying that for a really long time. So that was announced today. I don't know where that'll go, but something that Sal does bring up quite a bit. Joe, if you'd like to come up now, I took your motion off for potentially switching your hours. If you wanted just to explain your situation, and we can talk about it at council up here real quick.
I also have something about the abandoned properties.
Okay.
Say that for later.
No, you can do it now if you'd like.
Thank you. Joe Rossi, zoning officer. And since January, we started our abandoned property, we have collected $13,000 from the banks. Wendy and Juan have been a great help. Chief over there, he finds the people for me. It's fantastic that it's going. And I think we can make that better. There's 4 ways I think we can make this better. Number one, what happens, Mr. and Mrs., they leave the house, nobody tells us. One is in Hawaii, one's in Arizona, and there's abandoned houses. Then all of a sudden, we get a notice from the bank that it's in foreclosure, so I send them the $500 registration. Oh, it's occupied, sorry we didn't tell you. It's been abandoned for 2 to 3 years. So I talked to Carl, and he has no problem with this. If we make a resolution that on abandoned on his CCOs, if the house is abandoned, bank has to pay for the $500 registration fee before he can sell it. I know that's work for Kevin, but I do work for a company that does have, I do work for a town that does have an abandoned property inspection resolution. If you want me to forward that, I'll be happy to forward it to you.
This is the DCA, Joe, down there, that they're looking for a resolution for us on this?
No. I'm looking for a resolution, so when Carl goes out and has a CCO, if the house is abandoned before it could be sold, the bank has to pay for the $500 registration fee.
Who's Carl, I guess?
Carl McAleer.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carl is our fire inspector that does the smoking. Okay. That's one thing I'm looking for. The second thing, I spoke to the tax assessor and I says, can we have these banks that have these paying the mortgages years late, can we have them fill out the registration? And she said, no, you can't because it's electronically, you can't do that, and I'm not 100% sure how that works. But that is perhaps one thing we could look at, send out the tax forms that they have to pay for the registration fee if it's abandoned. The third thing is,
Is that tax assessor or tax collector?
tax collector. Yes, ma'am, sorry about that. The third thing I came up with we can do is we have to get state legislations changed. Is if you guys want to go to a legal municipality, I'll go with you. I wrote them plenty of letters, and when they get my letters, they're like, oh, good thing we got this big heavy-duty shredder because they must shred everything. Never got a response from them. What happens, we have state legislation that says the bank must have an in-state creditor. I don't know if you ever seen that commercial where the guy stands there like, oh, no, I'm not a bank security guard, I'm just a monitor, here's a problem. And that's what these creditors are doing. Oh, I can't do anything about this. I'm just letting you know the house is abandoned. Yeah, I know that. But we can't get in touch with something. So if we can change our legislation, and I've been going to other towns and asking the same thing, if we can fight down at the legal municipality and say to them look, we have to have a person from the bank, a person's name, and a person's number. So far, I've taken 4 people to court to get our monies out of here, and I need people's names so I can have a real, because Wells Fargo, Wells Fargo is nothing. So that's the third thing. The fourth thing I'd like to do is I'd like to change my night hours from Tuesday to Wednesday, and come in Tuesday during the day, because it took me 2.5 years and on the phone for 2 hours and 48 minutes to get a work order to cut down a tree on Lee Street. It hasn't been done yet. I just got a work order to do this. And I need to be here during the day. That's why I asked to change it, so I can be here Tuesday. I can work with Wanda, I can work with Wendy, and talk to them. And I'll give you Tuesday from 9 to 1, and I'll come in for the public office hours, Wednesdays 5 to 7. And so this way I can deal with the people on the bank, in the banks during the day, and also give you the night hours for the public. That's what I'm presenting to you.
Just to clarify for my minutes, that would be Tuesdays during the day, 9 to 1 for like your code enforcement.
Code enforcement, zoning.
And then Wednesday night, 5 to 7 for zoning?
Office hours.
Okay.
Would you be able to still come in if we needed you at a council meeting court as well? You'd still be able to do it? Okay.
Absolutely.
And then what about for council? Like if we were to, it's nice having you here Tuesday nights because if something comes awry, you can show up here. With notice, would you be able to
Absolutely,
continue to
sir.
make yourself available?
I think it's a two-way street we can work.
Yeah, okay.
I think generally speaking, I believe the statute allows, we went down this road before once, but I think in terms of Joe's position, we can set, again, he's kind of somewhat of our employee, but he's also DCA, basically reports directly to them, so I think you actually have control over setting your hours, subject to us setting the total weekly amount anyway, Joe, so
Is that the same amount of hours every day?
Yeah, so I think as long as you're doing the same.
Actually, I'm giving you more, sir. Giving you more.
That's your call, just has to be posted, that's.
Yes, well, that's why I'm asking, so we can let the people know. I'll do it starting next month.
Do you need a motion for that?
No?
Yeah.
Yeah?
I'd like to document it for his personnel file, yeah.
All right, we'll put
Okay.
up the motions, Joe.
Thank you.
Thank you, Joe.
Be well.
And Joe, I'm sorry, when do you want to make it effective? July 1?
July 15th, middle of the month.
July 15th?
Give them people notice.
Great. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
All right, resolutions.
We need to add one.
What do we got?
It's to refund an escrow balance. You were given a copy of it.
Oh, I saw that.
So it makes 7 instead of 6.
Well, we'll hold the reappointment of tax assessor, and we'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then the refund of the tax for the escrow.
So we're doing 6, okay.
6, yeah. Is there a motion for that?
Excuse me, I'll move those 6 resolutions.
Second.
Okay, Babinski?
Yes.
Yes.
Lou?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
I would say on the other one, Mayor, I would just say that it would be a motion to table the resolution.
I think maybe we should talk in executive session before we
Oh,
start.
okay, whatever you want.
Add it
Question by
or
one meeting.
table it or whatever we want to do.
Fine, fine.
All right, we'll wait. Motions, we'll do all of them except this natural systems utility. And then also included the motion of changing Mr. Rossi's
I
hours.
would like to take the Van Cleef Engineering Association proposal separate.
Okay, so we'll take that one. You got that, Wanda?
Okay, so we're taking off the Van Cleef and the natural system.
And adding Rossi.
Yep.
So I'll move that.
Second.
I'm sorry.
You should be specific as to what you're doing with Joe Ross. We're changing his hours from Tuesday 9 to 1.
9 to 1, and then Wednesday 5 to 7.
Yeah, and I'm going to put code enforcement 9 to 1,
And that's what would be in the motion.
zoning Wednesdays 5 to 7, effective July.
It's actually the 11th or 12th is like a Tuesday.
Is that good for you, Joe?
July 11th or 12th is the Tuesday. So make it that, whatever that Tuesday.
Yeah, the 12th is a Tuesday.
Yeah.
Yep, okay. Okay.
Yes. Yes.
Mary Van Loo
Yes.
and Mayor Kern.
Yes, okay, motion.
Now, are we tabling these motions completely?
No, natural systems is executive, and I'll move to accept the proposal from Van Cleef.
And I'll second that.
Okay. And do you want to say pending Kevin's review of our sewer agreement?
No, that's the one.
No.
Yeah,
But,
that's-
Oh, okay.
yeah, this is for Van Cleef Engineering.
Apologize, I got distracted. Okay, so Babinski?
Yes.
Black?
Yes.
Van Loo?
No.
Kern?
Yes. Okay, motion to accept Stephen Czar's resignation from the Land Use Board effective June 1st.
Well, that was in there, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, just kidding, sorry. Beth Tyler Barry, is she here?
Not yet.
Okay,
We need to do executive session?
let's do public comment. Is there any general public comment? Seeing none, we need executive session for contractual and personnel. Let's say a half hour max, and action may or may not be taken.
Okay, who's making that motion?
Motion.
Second.
Babinski? Black?
Yes.
Van Loo? And Kern?
Yes.
To me.
Did you talk to Beth, were you at Lopat today or tomorrow?
I was there last week. Meeting with our civil service people.
God, I wish we could get out of that.
No way. Not allowed.
You know, I have wondered whether it's because we're far from that, whether we went to a binding referendum on that, whether that's never been really adjudicated. There's one real old 1950-something Supreme Court case.
They're saying no.
Well, yes, of course, because they don't want to reach
Yeah.
conviction. I mean, they'd
I
have
think
to
if you were gonna-
really have to take a prerogative challenge to that.
I think if you were gonna do that, you'd had to have done it early on in Christie's term.
And it has to be,
It's just a fine in that. It really serves almost no use of purpose. Maybe in a bigger town.
the only thing I think it might be good for is the police, because it does do that testing for you. It does shake out all your veterans and all that kind of stuff, but for everything else,
But then, to the counter, look at Greenwich, they don't have civil service in their police, look at that.
well, that's what I mean.
A cop pulls over somebody, see ya. And then they sue, and then, half of them don't even, half of the guys are like working in other towns, suing, Greenwich.
I think,
If they wouldn't have fired those guys, they probably could have had maybe 4 more officers.
Mary Ann, Steve, what are they doing?
I would have ended it already. Guess we don't have a quorum. There's a 3-person committee. Those are successful. Are you still in Oxford?
You the lawyer there? No, that's,
I met their mayor. He's a good guy. Casquini?
I know Mark well.
He's a good guy.
He used to do a lot of soccer stuff. Like, yeah, I coach my daughter. Well, they had a similar issue to Greenwich. I mean, I think just
They all
the people
quit.
that quit or resigned.
Well, now the one guy, apparently, the guy is running now.
He didn't make it. Williams didn't make it.
Oh, he didn't?
No.
Why was he running again? If he quit?
That's what I asked. He resigned, so why would you do that?
He caused a massive mess for that community.
Because I'll take credit for getting that eyesore downtown.
Oh, that Oxford Texas.
See the Holland Tunnel thing
We ended up,
today?
no, it's not.
The guys with the guns?
No.
That was the car. Did you see the car, what it looked like?
I didn't see it, what happened?
I mean, a blind police officer would have pulled this thing over. It was like no, they were gun enthusiasts, but it looked like a monster truck. And they had all these guns, but they weren't, well, they say they weren't terrorists. I think they were what, gun enthusiasts? Who could also be terrorists.
Were they in the trunk or out there?
They were probably in that thing in the front. Look at that car. They're from Lehigh Valley.
Wanda, what happened up the Wawa the other day? Did you get any reports of fire?
Oh, there was a car fire, yeah.
Car fire
Yeah.
that was?
Yep.
Oh, Mary, I'm getting hungry.
Plenty of money in capital for the sewer stuff.
But it has to last over
It
5
just has to have a
years.
5-year life expectancy, but there's plenty of money.
Oh, there we go. There we go.
It pays to go to
She
the
said
source,
substantial monies are there.
but it has to last over 5 years.
That's the other thing is the 29,000 for the guardrail, I still call it a guardrail, is gonna have to be scrounged up somehow.
Yeah, because that, she said we didn't,
Budgeted for.
and the road monies are all,
We need a motion to come back out of executive.
I'm sorry?
I'll move that.
and I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Guys, I only coming out of executive.
Yeah, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye, yeah, whatever. Aye.
All right, I can recapitulate quickly. We had a discussion about our municipal prosecutor. We received a letter from the Warren County prosecutor, so we need a motion to authorize me to send a letter asking for a clarification of the Warren County prosecutor's position concerning our municipal prosecutor. And as part of that motion, we also need a motion to advertise for proposals for an alternate prosecutor on a per session basis.
So moved.
And I will second that.
Those two together?
Yeah, is that okay?
Okay, Babinski? Slack?
Yes.
Van Loo?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
We need a motion to, we also had a brief discussion about performance, but just about the position generally in terms of tax assessor and whether or not we wish, the council wished to advertise for that position, given the fact that this appointment of our current assessor, if he is reappointed, that would be his tenure reappointment, which carries with it ramifications. So
A lifetime appointment.
we need a motion to table the resolution reappointing our tax assessor. That motion will include continuing our current assessor on an interim basis and advertising for the position.
So moved.
Second.
Okay.
Yes.
Babinski? Slack?
Yes.
Van Loo?
I'm sorry, I've got to vote no.
And Kern?
Yes.
Next, we need a motion to cancel the July meeting and authorize the CFO to sign all vouchers/bills signed by the department head in the month of July.
So moved. Second.
Okay, Babinski?
Yes.
Slack?
Yes.
Van Loo?
Yes.
Kern?
Yes.
We did have a brief discussion regarding, apparently there's pending litigation between Greenwich, Phillipsburg, possibly Alpha with respect to sewer system and sewer billing. And I don't think we need a motion on this, but the discussion was that I will get a copy of that complaint, circulate it to you guys, so you can potentially evaluate whether you want to join it when we get together in August. And I think that was about all we talked about.
Yep. Do you want to give a real quick update, Seth, before?
Very, but I can't believe Mr. Mangione is not here after waiting so for the start
He's been
date.
here for a while, he's had a lot of health issues.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm sure anybody driving past the site has noticed that they both prepared access and staging areas, and in the past couple of days, actually started bringing in some of the heavier equipment. So the Hughesville removal has begun. The actual, deconstruction of the dam probably won't begin until about the first or second week of July, depending on how the dredging goes. The dredging is expected to take about 3 weeks. Right now, they're just even preparing. There's so much sediment behind the dam that they actually have to dig out a spot to be able to put the dredge in. The dredge can't even work out, so it's in 24 inches of water. So you can kind of imagine that it's 17 feet high, but there's so much silt behind it. There's not even enough.
Are they required to test tank and stuff?
Yes, it's all tested. It's all been tested.
When they yank it out of the river?
Yep, yeah, so they have to go in and they have to core it, so that both helps them to design the removal, so they know the size of the particles and how much there is, and they also run it against the DEP's list of contaminants.
How contaminated was it?
Actually, not at all. It was by factors of 10 to 100 below the level of concern.
So it doesn't have to go to a select landfill or anything?
No, it's actually going to remain on site, but on the Hollins side of the site, there are 2 old settling ponds there, and that's where this sediment will go. As it happens, the remediation, part of the remediation plan for the site was that those lagoons would have to be capped with soil. So this, went through kind of the DEP's, and there's actually 2 separate entities that have remediation stewardship there. Georgia Pacific still has stewardship, and
Oh, wow.
Blackmore still has stewardship. So both of those attorneys as well had to give this approval for that plan. So
This is it now, right? This is the last.
No, there's a Warren Glen yet.
Yeah.
that was one plan.
Oh, that's right.
And
When's
the
that?
study is underway.
When's Warren Glen?
Warren Glen is a lot more complicated, both because of the access. That'll really jump up all the costs, because I don't know if you've ever been back there.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very hard to get equipment up there. And then also, off, in part because of access, but they still haven't done the sediment analysis
Oh.
for it. There is estimated to be, I've heard 100,000, I've heard 500,000 cubic yards. There's a lot of sediment
Wow.
behind that dam. So first we have to get a good number, we have to make sure whether or not it's clean, and then we have to figure out, where it's going. It'll be a while. But the owner wants it out, and that's the key to all of
Well, that's, yeah, you have cooperative ownership, yeah. Anyone have any questions for Beth?
That worked out good, our timing.
Oh, good. I'm looking at 7 o'clock meeting and I'll.
It's a big river.
Have the pictorial display and
Next time I come, I'll bring some cool photos, because it's really, it's gonna be very interesting.
So mid-July, it'll start to really be
Yep. Yeah.
cool, neat.
I'll try to give you guys a heads up, in case you might wanna come.
Yeah, if you could, I would like to see it maybe if it's a weekend, definitely, that'd be neat.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beth.
all right, thanks for
Thank you.
coming. Have a safe trip home.
Anything else?
Questions or no? No questions?
I think we're good. Thank you, Beth.
Bye-bye.
Ain't Beth?
You have a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. See you in August. I don't know if I'm here in August. I don't know if I'm here in August. I have a lot of...
Special training?